All right, my friends, welcome to the week. My daily thread, looking for that snippet of wisdom. Pete and I, we've got some swag to hand out. We'll be contacting a few of you. I'm still loving the snippet, but we have a morsel here and there, and we have a wee bit of wisdom that a few others have talked about, and that's what we're bringing to you today. This chapter 2, verse 18, where he says, prakāśa-kriyā-sthiti-śīlaṁ bhūtendriyātmakaṁ bhogāpavargārthaṁ dṛśyam. And what does it mean? What's the most important piece of that Sanskrit thing? Patañjali is telling us that we are something greater than what's around us. We are something greater than our thoughts. We are something greater than the guṇas, the qualities of nature, which are sattva, rajas, and tamas. And remember that quality of sattva, that clarity, that illumination, we want that. We need that in our lives. Absolutely. Same with rajas, that passion, that activity. And then there's tamas, this idea of darkness or ignorance. There's inertia that's associated with that. These are the guṇas. These are the qualities of nature. Just a little sidebar. Snow started flying again. Made me think about what you're doing next February. Ziggy and I, we got a great retreat for you, San Pancho. Mark it on your calendar and stay tuned. Back to Patañjali. Prakāśa-kriyā-sthiti, having the nature. Śīlaṁ just means having the nature. Prakāśa-kriyā and sthiti, illumination and light. That sattva principle. Action, activity, the rajas principle. And sthiti, that stability, the darkness, the inertia, that inability to get motivated and moving. That is the tamas. So it's not hard for us to understand and get that we all have these qualities, right? We want the clarity. We want to be active. We want to be able to sleep when we want to sleep. Like, these are important things in our lives. Sir Edwin, in his commentary, says that Patañjali here is describing the ultimate metaphysical ingredients of the scene. That's the dṛśyam, of the manifest world. These guṇas that are there, they're always in flux. They're always working in and out of our lives in different ways. And as long as we are breathing, as long as we are manifest in this world, it is the nature of the guṇas to assert themselves in different ways. And so there's always going to be this ebb and flow. There's always going to be this changing in this world of forms that's all around us, whether that's thought form, material form, whether it's our bodily form. We know that these things are always changing. So here we have to understand that the guṇas are only here for one thing, and that's for bhoga or apavarga. And that means bhoga. Remember, we talked about that word earlier. It's about experiences. It's about pleasure. And then apavarga just means liberation. All the guṇas are doing are they're giving us these experiences to create more experiences or to create ultimately our liberation. Now that brings us to an interesting point, doesn't it? Liberation. What it is, like sort of this spiritual goal, some sort of mystical spiritual place or something. But what if you don't care about this whole spiritual thing? It's like, what if you're I'm not spiritual type? Well, you know what? That's great too. Like, it doesn't matter if the spiritual growth doesn't concern you. This can give us a framework to understand how the world works. This idea of sattva or clarity, rajas, activity, and tamas, inertia. You know, an example might be like if you're feeling restless and overwhelmed, it might be due to excess rajas. You've got too much action in your life or too much stimulation. If you're feeling super lazy or stuck, this idea of tamas being predominant in your world or in your life or in your experience at the moment is vital for understanding how to start to make a shift. Too much tamas, often if we can activate a little bit more some rajas, get into something active to making a decision and then move, even if it's the slightest decision or movement forward, that can be super, super helpful. If we take it out of the woohoo kind of arena of spirituality, just even think about the word bhoga. Are you engaging something purely for pleasure? And are you learning anything from that pleasure? There's nothing wrong with the pleasure. The greater question is, what are you learning? The other question might be to apply this word apavarga, which is this idea of becoming free or becoming liberated. Are the choices you're making ultimately contributing to your freedom in whatever area of your life that you're focusing on? Modern psychology really is all about focus, and what we focus on will grow, and whatever our focus is on, that reality starts to manifest, it seems. Can we just start to be aware of what we're focusing on in our mind and in our senses and in our thoughts, and start to cultivate a little bit more decision or control over that, a little bit more direction over our thoughts and our reactions? And even without spiritual woohoo, the sutra can give us an opportunity to really try to understand, what is this experience and who am I that is experiencing this? Make it your own little mental experiment. The more we can be mindful of what our energetic anchors are, the more free we are in the rest of our life to really truly be who we are and then be in connection with others. So, until I catch your ear again tomorrow, be illuminated, friends. Om. Peace out. As a post-show note, I have a few spots that opened up for new private clients. So if you have any desire to learn some practices and integrate some of these teachings, get in touch with me, www.jefflichty.com, and fill out the contact form. Peace out.